Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Alright, so my last free Quest 2 games video had 70 free games. But it turns out you can't handle that much awesomeness in one video. So, to make it easy for you, in this video I will mention all the S and A rank free VR games on the Quest 2. Which means you get to know which are all the best ones. Plus all the links will be in the description, so it's easy for you to find. If you want to check the rest of the great free VR games, then I've linked the video to the 70 in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video and find it helpful, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Talking about S-Ranked, remember we have our 50k subscriber special giveaway on right now, where the winner can choose any game on the Quest. To enter the giveaway, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, put on bell notifications and comment hashtag waqman50k down below. Well, let's get straight into the video. Alright, number 1, Hyperdash. You heard that right. The amazing multiplayer PvP game Hyperdash is now absolutely free. This is a very fast-paced 5v5 PvP shooter. It used to be paid, but now it's completely free. It has a lot of different game modes such as payload, domination, team deathmatch, control point and more. Hyperdash has a cool unique movement style with dashing, sprinting and rail grinding, making the game very fast and very fun. Overall, I would give this game an A. Number 2, Polar Dread. So this is a scarier version of Five Nights at Freddy's and is much more interactive in VR. Here you can pick up items and throw them, but even hide under the desk if you want. It's actually a pretty good game and feels like a better version of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. For me, for how scary and fun the game is, it gets an A. Number 3, Pavlov. I'm sure you've heard of this game. Personally, it's the best free PvP shooter on the Quest. It has realistic reloading, great mods and a massive community. Plus they keep updating it. For me, this is an easy S. Number 5, Gorilla Tag. I'm sure you've heard of Gorilla Tag. It is probably the most popular game on the Quest, filled with little kids. Now the game itself is quite fun and an extreme workout. Plus the movement mechanics are unique and even have started to get loads of clones. Plus you can even become an expert on it and move like a real monkey. The worst thing about the game for me is the toxic community. But I won't punish the game for it. So for me it gets an easy A. Number 6, T for God. Here is another unique game which simply uses your play space for full locomotion, where you basically walk around your room but it seems endless. There is a story mode, voice acting, combat and even hand tracking. The graphics are a bit bland but it has everything else for me. And it is a definite A. Number 7, Cards and Tankards. This is actually a very underrated card game. It has its own cards and rules and is a fully fledged card game. The graphics are great, the community was nice when I tried it, and you can unlock new packs by just playing the game. You can even play against the AI, which I appreciate. For how good and addictive it actually is, it gets an A. Number 8, Battle Talent. Now this is basically a free version of Blade and Sorcery. It even has mod support. There are multiple enemies to kill as well as a progression system. There are realistic physics, magic powers and a varied amount of enemies. There is a lot to the game and for me this easily gets an A. Number 9, VR Chat. Well, I'm sure you know about VR Chat and the amount of things you can actually do in it. The only issue is on the Quest it is severely limited and reduced. So normally I would give VR Chat an S, but on the Quest it drops down to an A. Number 10, Rec Room. Now this is a more stable and child-friendly version of VR Chat. Well, I say child-friendly, but just be careful. But it doesn't have all the cool avatars and features VR Chat does. But it does have some amazing games for almost anything you can think of. So for me, Rec Room easily gets an A. Number 11, Echo VR. Now this is a must play on the Quest. It has amazing graphics and fantastic quality. Although you do need to get good at the game as there is a steep learning curve. But I think everyone should give this game a try regardless. It's based on the movement or lone echo. So this easily gets an S. Number 12, Harvest VR. Now this is a unique one on the list. This is basically a farming simulator for which there is a good market for. Just look at Farmville. But here you get to farm crops, mine, fish, take care of animals and as well as slaughtering them. You sell your harvest and buy new and better tools. You can even play on real time or simulated time, depending on how you want to extend your game and how realistic you want it to be. To be honest, there's a lot to this game and it's actually very good, and for me this easily gets an A. Number 13, We Are One. You are basically using time travel to help yourself achieve tasks and solve puzzles. So here, you help yourself by throwing yourself ammo or weapons and killing enemies in ways that you couldn't do alone. It's crazy to think about it. But the game itself is basically a puzzle shooter, where you have multiple spawn points but also multiple tasks that need to be completed at the same time. So you use your time travel to solve the puzzles. It's actually so cool and such a unique concept that I'm going to have to give this an S. Number 14. Blacktop Hoops VR Basketball. Now this is a street basketball type of game that is also multiplayer. It's kind of an arcade style rather than going for particular realism. The sound and narration in the game are pretty cool, if you like that 90s vibe. I personally think this is the most fun and flashy basketball game in VR currently. For me, this gets an A. Number 15. Traversal. Now this is a game that is kind of a rip-off of T for God. However, these guys have done it so much better. The graphics themselves look amazing, the gameplay is fantastic, and there is even a level editor to make your own custom levels. There are puzzles and traps to navigate through as well as enemies to kill. This easily gets an A. Number 16. Monster Showdown. This is literally COD Zombies but in VR, as it also has awesome boss battles with cool looking enemies, great range of weapons, weapon boxes between rounds, random perks, buying weapons from the wall, and even repairing barriers to prevent the enemies from coming through. You also have some progression in the game and it's so much fun that it easily gets an A. Number 17. Quake VR. This is basically the old Quake game and in VR. Plus with this version you won't even need a PC, but you can only play the first 10 levels. If you want more, then you'll have to buy the game on PC and transfer the files. But this is an amazing port with full locomotion controls and extreme gore. It even has bullet time mode. This is a little intense for motion sickness or for anyone new, but fine for most. Though overall I will have to give this an A as it's an amazing port. Number 18. Cactus Cowboy Plants at War. Now this is literally like a World War II game with full manual gun reloading, multiple different weapons, crazy crashes around you, pure mayhem and chaos. The gunfights can get really intense and you need to rush to find cover. I would say you have to try this game if you can handle full locomotion, as that's all it has. But overall I have to give this an S. It is really that good. Number 19. Gods of Gravity. This is a unique real-time strategy game that's also multiplayer, but also has single player. The basics are that you can choose between 3 types of ships, which have offensive and defensive capabilities. Your aim is to create a fleet of ships to be able to take down your enemy. It's actually like League of Legends but in VR and space themed. You also need to protect and nurture different planets and moons. There are wormholes to be able to get you from one part of the map to the other very quickly, and even the sun comes into place when it eventually becomes a black hole and destroys everything around you. It's actually an epic game and there is so much more to it, it definitely gets an S. Number 20. Spark. This is actually a pretty good game. It's a PvP game and there are different themes such as cowboy shootout and multiple different game modes such as team deathmatch, riding battles, where you're all on horses shooting at each other whilst also trying to control the horses. There's also a new game mode called Gold Royale, where you can play solo or with a team and search for treasure, kill enemies, loot them and then make your hasty escape. This is actually a really good game and overall I'd probably give this an A. Number 21. Gun Raiders. So this is a 4v4 PvP shooter and has a variety of different weapons from assault rifles, shotguns, snipers and even a minigun. There are 4 different modes that you can play. There is assault, control, free-for-all and team deathmatch. This is actually a fun, fast-paced, crazy shooter and there is all-out chaos. But it's so much fun that I'm gonna have to give it an A. Number 22. Crawl Space. Now we have another terrifying game here where you basically need to crawl to collect a doll and return it. There are 5 unique nights with the baby dolls you need to return by crawling through tight spaces. All this whilst the evil dolls are chasing you. It has a really cool mechanic for the crawling as well, and an extreme panic when you are being chased. I'd probably give this game an A for the unique style and fear it gives. I highly recommend it for the horror game lovers. And probably stay away from the people that get too scared, because you might pee your pants. Number 23. Gym Class. Well, they improved this game quite a bit since its original launch. It has now become extremely good. Unfortunately though, the Quest 1 cannot play multiplayer and can only play solo. But there are a lot of different game modes and even AI bots to play against. The other basketball game might be the most flashy, but this is actually the best basketball game on the Quest. And for me, this gets an S. Well, there you have it. Here are the absolute best free VR games on the Quest. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you want to check out even more great games, then make sure you watch my 70 free VR games video in the description. Also, don't forget to enter the giveaway. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day, stay safe and see you next time.